Hey guys, welcome to Get a Life Podcast Kunai. I'm Tyson, joined by Bish and Joe. Say hi.
Hi.
What's up?
Yeah.
At least Bish is more enthusiastic than Joe. I don't know. We're gonna have to kind of beat some enthusiasm out of Joe at some point.
I don't know. Don't say that because beating off Joe doesn't sound right.
No, but
No, it's just a bridge across when I get there.
we're kind of the aggressive senpais of Joe. So
no, you're the aggressive senpai. I'm the cool senpai. I want to be known as the. Here it's kind of like good cop, bad cop, and it's just like good cop, tsundere cop.
So I'm an aggressive tsundere cop.
Yeah, and actually no. Who's the tsundere and who's the yandere? I think I'm yandere. If you really,
I think Kevin is the tsundere. Salutations
really
to Kevin that he couldn't make it. And what do we call Joe?
The thing is that kind of proves that Kevin is a tsundere was when I sent to him. I was like, "How's life without your senpai?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's pretty cool." That's really tsundere of him. And Kevin, if you're listening, you hurt me. Hurt me on the inside.
I'm leaning towards thinking that Joe is a tsundere as well. I don't know what I don't know what brand of tsundere, but I think he is.
No, I don't really get mad at you guys. I'm really cool.
But tsunderes don't get mad. That's what tsunderes are. It's like, for instance, there is a tsundere in the anime that that we've watched. Whoa.
We should probably introduce that instead of just piling
that
up on Joe. So the show that we're gonna cover today is called Baka and Test, Summon the Beasts. And before we start with the actual discussion, Bish has some important words to say.
So yeah, Get Life Podcast Kunai is a monthly anime podcast where we talk about anime and shit. Yeah. That's how I'm gonna say it. So we talk about anime and we don't talk about the manga. And for any shows that are based off manga. And yeah, we watch either 12 episodes or up to 30 episodes. And we only watch the first season. And we give our opinions on it and what we think and who's best girls and all that kind of stuff. We are the younger brother of the original Get Life podcast, so go check that out. Oh yeah, shameless self-advertising. Yeah. I don't know why I'm so excited today. But yeah, you can check us out on the Stitcher and, of course, on iTunes. And yeah, it's free, so go download the shit out of it. Yay!
We're gonna read the podcast.
But there's a flaw in that disclaimer because free season 2 exists. We did a show on free season 2, which you can also check that out.
We normally talk about season 1, but sometimes we talk about season 2. Free was the first time we did it, and I was really excited. And I know I got some feedback from some fans actually, and they were really excited about it. And I was like, yeah. Although not many people agree with my Nagisa obsession, that's one thing which I'm upset about. And a lot of people like Rei. A lot of people like fucking Rei. And it's like, Rei's cool in season 2, but I digress. Anyway, let's get back onto Baka and Test.
Alright, so Baka and Test, it is based off a light novel written by Kenji Inoue, illustrated by Yui Haga, and the anime was done by animation studio Silver Link back in January 2010, part of the winter season. And for the synopsis of the show, I'm just gonna read what Anime Planet has put up in here. So, reading tone.
Anime Planet, if you're listening,
notice
Anime
us.
Planet, if you're listening, notice us. That's all I'm gonna say.
So they excuse the reading tone, but I'm reading from a website here. Fumizuki Academy is divided into classes ranked based purely on ability. Class A has laptops, reclining seats, and ultimate comfort, whereas Class F has to settle for a rundown classroom with rotten cushions and rickety coffee tables. Akihisa Yoshii has recently taken the placement exam and finds himself relegated to the lowly Class F along with many of his friends, and they're far from impressed with their draughty facilities. Luckily, not all is lost as Fumizuki. Classes can declare war on each other to swap rooms by fighting with summon characters whose strength is based on the user's test scores. As they dream of escaping their decrepit circumstances, the idiotic students of Class F will try whatever they can to reach the dizzy heights of Class A's luxury, even if it means taking on the entire school in an all-out summoning war. So that's the synopsis of what Baka and Test is. So, first impressions. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I watched this anime once again. I'm gonna say this again. My friend Daniil suggested this to me many moons ago. Daniil, I've been giving you shout-outs all the time on the podcast. Sometimes I'm gonna probably think about getting Daniil on. Anyway, so yeah, Daniil suggested this to me, and I was like, okay, cool, what's this about? This is actually the first kind of slice of life / comedy podcast, what the fuck? Comedy anime that I've seen. And I was like, I'm really hyped. I got really hyped for this, mainly because I kind of related to it a lot more, because I was in high school when I watched this. And this is about high school life, and it's about, oh my god, imagine if we could do this in high school. That's the first thing I thought about. I was like, yeah, cool, summon, yeah. And there was a point in my life where I was having like dreams about me being able to summon avatars, and I was like, yeah. Yeah, that's what I liked about it. Another thing
So what would be your proficiency in terms of the avatar fighting style?
Oh, in terms of, like my subject?
Yeah, you know how characters have strong subjects and they have weak subjects, so what would be yours?
I think the way I thought about it was my strongest subjects would be sciences, mainly physics, because I'm a nerd. And then my weakest subject would be PE, or physical education. So I really wasn't that good at that, as you can tell. Yeah, so that's how it was. And then obviously we would have discussions at school about this anime, and then a lot of people would be like, yeah man, I would be really good at PE and I'm really good at this, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Imagine if my school had that. And I would have dreams before I would go to sleep, and I was like, oh man, fighting in this whole academy system, and it's kind of badass. And I thought, you know what, sometimes there's some people in school that, especially like, I'm going to take this a lot deeper. Like, when you get bullied and stuff, and you're like, oh man, imagine if I had an avatar and kick someone's ass. That's, you can change, because a lot of people get bullied mainly because of, they call them nerds, or like, oh man, you're a fucking nerd, whatever. And I was one of those kids. So it's kind of nice, because this anime, for me, kind of gave me some hope. And I was like, oh, so being a nerd is kind of cool. Being really good at academia is nice. And this anime kind of rewards that. Which I enjoyed.
So is this one of the first animes that you ever watched, like on your list?
This was about, I think, maybe the fourth. It was after K-On!
Okay.
So I watched Toradora, and then I watched Persona, and then I watched K-On!, and then I watched this. So this was very different from the other animes that I've watched, which were, happy, like, oh, I'm high school girl, or I'm Pimp Narukami. So this was kind of a new thing for me, and I was really, really excited, because it made me fucking laugh, even from the first episode. So, yeah. Joe, what are your first impressions?
Well, actually, this show was recommended to me like a while ago by a friend of mine on Twitter. It's just like I've had it on hold for like a long time. I'm like, when should I start this? And then I heard like, oh, we're gonna do this for a podcast. So like, I'm like, you know what? It's finally time to watch it. And then I watched I watched like the first few episodes, and like it was just really, really like really charming. It was like really colorful. It was like the jokes were like hilarious, and it's like it was just having a good time.
Anything in particular you wanna add more on regarding your first impressions?
Well, I really like all like the characters, like introductions to like Akihisa Yoshii, Hijime, Misuki, which between you and me is best girl in the show. Anyway, then there's like always different characters like Hideyoshi, like everybody confuses him for a girl.
He's a typical trap.
Yeah, but like the thing is, he doesn't want to be a trap.
But does anyone want to be a trap in anime? Like we have a lot of traps in anime. You have Hideyoshi. You had.
Somebody intentionally tries to look like but like she's like.
No, it's not necessarily like that. It's like there's other animes like particularly in like Haganai, you have that, and in another anime, shit, I forgot the name, but that's another thing. You get this is one thing I wanted to bring up about traps and cross-dressing characters. In anime, a lot of them tend to have samurai names. It's kind of weird.
I never noticed that, but I'll probably...
Yeah, you'll notice that in Haganai, because, you know, you have Yukimura from Haganai, and then you have Hideyoshi. Hideyoshi, I think, was probably named after Hideyoshi Toyotomi.
I think Hideyoshi is...
the whole...
I think Hideyoshi is the last name, not the first name. Let me just check that real quickly.
No, Hideyoshi is the first name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Oh, my favorite character in the show, the ninja pervert.
Koda Sushi, yeah.
Yes, Koda Sushi or something.
Mutsurini. I don't know.
He's really funny. Like when like Minami was like constantly like beating the crap out of Akihisa, and then like you just see Koda just like go under them, and just try to get snapshots.
But the thing is that he did that with both Minami and I think Mitsuki at sometimes. Probably every girl that he could probably get a shot at looking up her upskirt, he takes the chance.
He even done it to Hideyoshi at one point as well. It's like
I remember that.
Yeah, I've seen this anime quite a few times. So he's obviously a great character. I do love him. However, I'm going to get on to what I was going to say about him later on. But I just wanted to know, Tyson, what were your first impressions?
First impressions regarding Baka and Test. When it began, I thought that I was... I don't know, the RPG elements threw me off guard. And I don't know why, but those kind of shows highly appeal to me, despite not having watched a lot of them. It's sort of the gamification of anime storylines, and something about it just calls out of me, and I don't know why. As for I thought the story was kind of cool, because a school that you can summon avatars to fight against other classes. The premise was interesting, and as more as I watched the show, I grew to like it, because there were moments, and probably will delve into those a bit later, that really annoyed me, and probably I wasn't in the right mood to watch the show and appreciate it for what it was. But I'll leave that to the further analysis to see if it was just me being moody, or that I genuinely have a gripe with that. I was kinda surprised that Class F challenged Class A on the very first episode, and all I could
didn't challenge Class A.
Huh?
It was Class E.
Yeah, and then they decided to fight. They decided to fight Class A.
They didn't decide that. It was Class A decided to fight Class F.
And then they did like a 5 rounds.
5v5 thing.
I don't have the specifics of what exactly happened on my notes, but I'm literally gonna read the note as I have it. Why Group A is already challenging Group F of the first episode? Way to throw the tension at the start. Unless there's something bigger than Group F getting Group A classroom / equipment.
Well, that's the thing.
I read my note word for word. That's what I put.
Well, I know what you mean. Like, I can understand what you mean in the notes, and this is kind of something that kind of got me at the beginning when I first watched it. I was like, why? I thought this was kind of a thing that they would probably do towards the end, where
I also expected
Class
the same.
A.
I also expected the same.
But at the same time, this is kind of something because they have to get a lot of kind of action sequences at the beginning, because without it, this anime is like every other slice of life. That's true. The whole school system and the challenging makes it very unique. And without that, it's just like every other anime. So that's another thing they had to put in there. And it kind of links into season 2. I don't want to kind of spoil it, but me, because I've watched the season 2 of this, I can understand why they did this in season 1. Although I'm not going to talk about it. Any other things that you may thought was like, it's kind of weird?
Not really, because the rest is more observation on particular characters. So let's see what's up next. We have favorite episodes or and moments.
Yeah, I'll start on that. I'll tell you what one of my favorite episodes were. Mm-hmm. I really loved the whole challenge, the 5v5 challenge. But my most favorite episode is the one where Yoshii, his avatar is going berserk, and everyone else's avatar is going berserk, and he's like summoning his avatar, and like tons of avatars just like flooding the school. I thought that was hilarious. But I'll tell you the real reason I love that episode was because I know what you're thinking, Joe. Joe is thinking that my favorite reason was because of the adult versions of the avatars. That's not the reason, Joe. Get your mind out of the gutter. My favorite thing about it was, the whole there was a lot of Metal Gear references.
I know. I even put it on my notes. Why the hell are there so many Metal Gear references?
There's a lot of references from other games, like even I think there was a Darkstalkers reference.
There was a Mario reference, yes. Games. There was a Mario
reference as well, and that was all in that same episode. I think this episode had a lot of gaming references, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Obviously, I come from a gaming background, so I love that.
I wonder if the manga was done in that way, although Baka and Test is based off a light novel, but the manga included these references, or are just the animators in Silver Link fans of Metal Gear and fan of all these games? That's kind of an aspect of the production that I'm actually curious about knowing.
Honestly, I'm not sure, but we can go and check that. Another thing I liked about the episode was, there was a lot of references and the whole thing, sneaking into like pipes and stuff like that. It was very interesting. And I liked how he was the one in control because, Yoshii really isn't in control. It's mainly Yuji that is, and he's like the main team leader, and Yoshii really doesn't get a chance to thrive as a really powerful character. And the fact that he done like a what's it called, middle school test, and then he got like level 999, and I was like, that's fucking cool.
The remedial test, that's what you mean?
Mm-hmm. It was the remedial test, yeah, and I was like, that was fucking amazing.
And then his points went up to like 9,999.
Yeah, that was amazing. And I was like, and it was really smart because they were like, oh, you know what, Himeji, do the test and get a 0 in it so I can beat your avatar. And I was like, that's kind of cool. That was really smart how they did that. And at first, when I was first watching it, I was like, oh my god, he's going to get fucked really badly. And then as soon as they done that, I was like, oh my god, that's so smart. Why didn't I think of that? And that's why that episode was my favorite. Not because of the whole adult avatar thing, although that was enjoyable. I'm just going to say that. But that...
It's like he was all screwed, and then they're like, I have an idea. You should like retake the test, and then it's like you're gonna get killed though. And well, just do it. And then she gets a 0 on it, and then like her character basically commits suicide.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. But the thing is, how could a teacher mark that so quickly?
Well,
do you know what I mean?
No answers. Like it was all blank.
Oh my god! Yeah, Joe, you're very smart. I didn't really notice that. I was just like, in my mind, I thought that was like a kind of gripe, and I was gonna be like, ah.
No, it was just a line, like a giant X.
And
that's kind of smart though.
And a 0 just in there. So Joe, any favorite episode or moments?
I think we all know my favorite episode was the swimsuit episode.
Oh my god! My god! You are such a
god! Oh my god!
You're such a loot person.
Can I ask why was it? Was it because of the swimsuits?
Well, why else do you watch a swimsuit episode?
Maybe the design of the swimsuits attracts you.
Wow.
I don't know.
This guy is way too upfront about his likes.
It's fine. Question for you, Joe. Yeah. Because there's not really a lot to say about the whole swimsuit episode. Who do you think had the best swimsuit?
Oh boy, we put in the.
And I'll tell you who mine is. While you take time to think.
I think actually I have my answer. Hideyoshi had a swimsuit.
Hideyoshi. All right. Okay, cool. That's fair enough. There was one character. I'm not saying this, Hazuki, and I'm not saying this in a weird way. I just really like that swimsuit.
Yeah. That swimsuit actually really. It was actually really...
you know the blue swimsuit with the name on it. That's sick. I like that. That's like, obviously she's a young character, so it's not because she's wearing the swimsuit. It's just the swimsuit itself that I like. I found Himeji was too much. Do you know what I mean?
Wait, which swimsuit? Which swimsuit?
Himeji swimsuit with the tits flapping about.
Oh yeah.
I think that was a bit too much for me, and I was like, okay. But then obviously, I think the second favorite swimsuit would have to be Shuko.
That probably would have been my
Shoko,
favorite
whatever her name
swimsuit, but when it comes to characters like Hideyoshi and like swimsuits like that, you gotta like look at it and be like, sometimes that can be good.
Yeah, true. I think Hideyoshi's one had like the most style, and I'm gonna be honest here. Hideyoshi really did have a sexy swimsuit. I'll be honest. I'm not gonna lie about that. But at the same time, there was another character whose swimsuit I did like, Minami.
Oh my god.
Minami's swimsuit was great. The reason I say that was, she had the first swimsuit. I liked that one more. And I don't know why she didn't wear that first one and then she decided to change. I know she was going to put like those gel pads, those...
Oh my god.
She was going to stuff her...
That was
bra,
fucking
basically.
hilarious.
When her sister comes out and I was just like, oh my god.
Boing.
No, I was horrified when I saw Hazuki walk in like that. Like, I saw her...
Yeah, but you could tell that it was implants.
No, yeah, and I thought that was like, oh, like she's one of those characters where like she looks flat, but then like when she wears a swimsuit, everything is out.
Oh, like what's her name? Naoto. Naoto is very like that.
Yeah, but this is like a loli.
Yeah, that's true. I was shocked at first, and I was like, "What the fuck? Oh my god, is it this kind of anime?"
No, then I saw them like down, and I'm like, wow.
Oh my gosh! All right,
Tyson, what was your favorite swimsuit?
Wait, my favorite swimsuit? I was I was gonna talk about my favorite moment in episodes,
but we were talking about swimsuits.
But swimsuits, I'm gonna be honest, I really didn't pay attention. I really didn't.
Tyson, I bet you did. I bet you were gonna say like Himeji's one is better.
No. The thing that I know, the thing that I noticed, the thing is that the Mizuki is just her swimsuit, just like her boobs defy gravity, and I really don't like when fan service is like that. I really don't. As for who I like, even though I can roughly remember, it has to be Minami's. It had to be Minami's.
The first swimsuit or the second swimsuit? Because she had two. She had the yellow one, and then she had this kind of really nice blue one. I like the blue one. I don't like the yellow one. The yellow one looks a bit childish.
I'm gonna have to agree, even though I don't recall.
You don't quite remember. You know what, Tyson? After this recording, I'm gonna send you a really special email with the swimsuits, just so you know. But yeah, going back to Joe, why was it your favorite episode, other than the fact than tits? He has to think long and hard about this. No pun intended.
This is what we do on Kunai, Joe. You gotta back up your explanations.
It was charming to see everyone having fun on a nice summer vacation.
Let's go with that to not fry his brain.
It was just good. It was good seeing them have fun in the pool. Like, just enjoy like the nice weather.
But did you find that the jokes were hilarious in that episode? Because I found it hilarious.
I love. There's like a few scenes where like there's like one scene where Himeji makes like cakes or like cookies, and then and then it's just like, oh my god, we got like I don't want to eat that, and then they're like, we're gonna have a race, so whoever get like the first three people, like the first person to get to the end of the pool like doesn't have to eat the food.
And I think Hideyoshi won that.
I think Hideyoshi won, yeah.
Yeah, because everyone else is fighting.
Yeah, I don't think anybody won that though.
I know that Akihisa lost. I know that Akihisa lost.
Akihisa lost and then obviously Pervert Ninja lost as well because his nose was bleeding because of Hideyoshi. That's another thing. I love how they treat Hideyoshi in this anime, but I'll talk about that later. But yeah, I wanted to really talk about more like your favorite moments. Because other than that episode, was there any other things like? Well,
yeah, like it's this. My other favorite moment is like the same as yours, where like they had to like fix the system. Yeah, like where they it's like Aki had to go inside the vents and then go plug in like the piece that was broken inside the system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like all those different fights and like how he went up to like 9,999 so we could like beat the crap out of everybody.
That's something I really want to know. It's like even though they kind of level up and I think Yuji was saying that's cheating. In a way, it is. It's like you're doing... I don't know how to explain it. Like, does that mean anyone can do like a specific type of test and then level up to that point and then just be really OP or not?
Well, yeah. Like, they intentionally did an elementary school test so they could... It's basically messing with the system since it was all messed up. So, like, they need to, like, increase his power so, like, he'd be able to, like, defeat all
So they're
enemies.
using the whole messed up system thing as a loophole out of this. So they don't need to... Because in every other episode, they're like, yeah, we're taking this person's advantage. Like, this person's good at math, so we're going to use this person in, like, a one-on-one math fight. Do you know what I mean?
Well, no,
So this is very different.
It wasn't like that. Like, they took advantage of, like, the test system, where, like, doing good on a test lets you, improve.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. So is that his overall score or not? Because that's another thing. It gets confusing when you're like, okay, you're exploiting this test system, but at the same time, does it take into account like what level of study this is? Because this is like a middle school test or whatever.
Well, no, because they don't normally issue like tests like that. They just they intentionally made like an easy test so that he'd be able to improve his character level.
So Tyson, what is your favorite moment?
I think Tyson's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Tyson is here.
I'm here. So
I could sense him here.
no, because I also wrote on the IM window, but okay.
Don't ruin it for everyone, Tyson. Jeez.
I can just edit this out.
True.
Okay, so it's a favorite moment of me. I do have to commend, the episode that was so favorite moment for me. Since you have been talking about this swimming the pool episode. I do like one gag that was used on that episode, and it was probably when they drove the Hideyoshi is a guy but isn't really a guy gag, and the Hideyoshi is actually a gender. That was hilarious.
Oh my God,
That was the best part. It was like it's like everyone's in their own bathroom, and then you just
and Hideyoshi gets his own bathroom, and that was hilarious. And I think that I think that gag has been used several times after its debut on the swimming. I keep saying swimming on the pool episode. Let's see.
You freeze in your mind at this moment.
Actually, I was watching Free before getting into this podcast, so yes.
That's why.
All right, so favorite episode overall would have to be the war episode. Me would have to be episode 12 because shit went down, and there were a lot of moments that I thought, "Whoa, that was really, really clever." Things that I thought that was, oh my god.
What in particular?
Really particular, and the fact that are these strategies really being planned by idiots that are being used to outwit the classes who, in theory, are at a higher academic level than Class F? I mean, shit went down, and I found myself rooting for the underdog. I'm like, go Class F, go!
I think it's kind of smart that they did that, and I think many people kind of not take advantage, but they were like, "Oh yeah, we can beat Class F easily." Do you see what I mean? Because I think they use that to their advantage. The fact that everyone would assume that they're Class F and that they're kind of lower academically than everyone else, so they kind of put their guard down in a sense, which was their biggest problem.
There's another moment here that I found really, really hilarious, and tell me if you remember this one. Remember when Yuji and who's this other girl, the one who forced herself to be the girlfriend, Shoko Kirishima, and Shoko takes Yuji to the movies. She insists on watching.
That's really good, like a 5 or 7 hour movie 2 times.
That movie lasts 7 hours. We'll see it twice. Like what? Like that.
The thing is, I've never heard of a film that lasted 7 hours.
It's because
Batman?
comedy can also be exaggerated in an effort to make to drive the punchline home.
But who stays in a cinema for 14 hours? That's kind of weird, and especially watching the same film. And he wakes up at the same moment in the film when the cow is slaughtered. That must be terrifying. Imagine waking up in his position and seeing a cow get slaughtered, and then going back to sleep, and then waking up again. I would think I'm in the Matrix or something.
So did you took the red pill or the blue pill?
I can't even remember the Matrix. I don't even remember which pill at this moment in time. Matrix was so old.
He took the blue pill, I think. I don't even remember which one is which.
You know, also this one that I forgot to mention. It was, like, it's back in the swimsuit episode because I was thinking about like, oh, like were there like moments in that other moments in that swimsuit episode that you remember? And there's one I remembered where like it's about a pervert, like ninja pervert, and it's like he got so many nosebleeds that by
he
the
dried
end,
up. Yeah,
he was basically on life support. He was basically on life
yeah,
support.
yeah.
You saw that, right? It, like the machine arm. I found that really funny.
No.
So what I want to talk about now is, before we get onto characters and stuff like that, I think we should be talking about, we obviously talked about the story, so let's talk about animation style. Like, how does this kind of, are you put off by the animation style? Like, what do you think?
I wasn't necessarily put off by it, but it didn't show, I think it was average for a show of this nature. Like, there's nothing extravagant here. I mean, I'm not exactly watching a Shaft anime in which, no matter if they can make even the slice of life stylish by definition, but I thought it was average. There's nothing noteworthy in terms of animation that I would say, hey, this is.
I wouldn't say that.
Although there was one part that I really liked, and I don't know if this will go in animation style. Remember how there were some segments that Yuji and Akihisa were talking, and it seemed like they were drawn on pencil?
Yeah. That's animation style. I would consider that as being part of the animation style.
Okay, so there are these parts in which Yuji and Akihisa talk, and they were drawn on pencil. Like, they're not color, like just a blank sheet of paper, and the particular color of a pencil. I thought that I didn't mind it at first, but the more it was shown, I thought it was kind of cool. Mostly because I also did a traditional drawing with a piece of paper and pencil when I was younger, and I appreciate that, and I thought it was kind of cool.
A fun story about that. My sister recently, because she's a big fan of Baka and Test, I said to her, you have to watch Baka and Test, and she was like, fuck no, I'm not gonna watch Baka and Test. And she finally did, and I wouldn't say she's obsessed with it, but she loves it so much. And then she's like drawing pictures of like Akihisa and Yuji in that, that kind of pencil drawing. She's done that, and I'm not looking at it now, but it looks pretty cool. I really want to take a picture of it and show you guys on Twitter. It looks like the real thing. And she done it by eye. She just looked at it and then she just drew it. And I was like, whoa, fucking mind blown. Shout out to her. I was there when she drew it. I actually saw her drawing it, and it was kind of badass. So yeah, she's probably listening to me listening live. Do you know that sounds so wrong? She's listening live probably, because she can probably hear me right now. One thing I had about the animation style that kind of really, I didn't like it at first, let's be honest, because it was like massive eyes, and the only character like I enjoyed the animation style of was Akihisa, and that was it.
It's Moe.
Everyone else I was like,
it's Moe, so
yeah, it's Moe, but at the same time it's like massive fucking eyes, and it reminded me, like, this is something I don't like. Like, I don't like how Yu-Gi-Oh was drawn, and watching this anime for the first time, it kind of reminded me of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I was like, oh man, I fucking hate Yu-Gi-Oh. No, I know you're a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh, Tyson. So anyway, I fucking hate Yu-Gi-Oh, and I was like, this kind of reminds me of it, and I was really put off by that at the beginning, and then I let the anime kind of try its hardest, and then I eventually loved it. But that was main thing I didn't like about it. I don't like how it's drawn or anything like that. Although it's very colourful, which I do like, and it's really, it draws your eye in. Another thing is that the backgrounds are very unique for an anime. Do you know what I mean?
I've seen similar art style in Nisekoi, but Nisekoi is newer.
Yes.
So
yeah, indeed. I was gonna say that, but it kind of has this kind of pop art feeling to it. You got them circles, and you have like different.
Yeah, it's definitely pop art.
Shading techniques and stuff, and it looked great. And before this, I've never seen an anime that actually had that. Toradora never had that. Persona never had that. Even Kale never had that. So it was kind of new and exciting for me. And I know a lot of people don't really get excited for background art because that doesn't necessarily change. But it was like, whoa, this is new stuff I've never seen before. Oh my god. Anyway, so Joe, what do you think about the animation style?
It's really cute. Like it's like a lot of people are really used to this kind of stuff, but like when I saw it for the first time, I'm like, wow, this is actually really charming. And it's like actually I became a really big fan of it, and especially when they like summon their monsters. It's like they were just all like little chibi versions of themselves. Like that was adorable. And like it was just like really, it was also like really colorful. Like the shading and everything was done perfectly. My opinion.
Another thing is I love the chibi versions of themselves. Like that was something that kind of was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It reminded me of a game I'm playing now currently. It's called Criminal Girls Invite Only. I'm not sure if you've seen this game, but it's not in the motivational bits. I'm just talking about specifically the battle scenes. And it kind of reminds me of old school games like RPGs and stuff, like especially like Final Fantasy 3, Criminal Girls as well. How you had those kind of sprites, which I enjoyed. It kind of brought me back to this kind of nostalgia, which I loved. Anyway, let's get into characters. And again, here we go.
Let Joe begin so he can explode his opinions on this podcast.
Yeah. So how we're gonna start is we're gonna start with character design. So what do you guys kind of think of each character and how they kind of look? Like for me, even their uniforms are they kind of reminded me of English school uniforms. It wasn't really the whole Japanese kind of high school uniform like you see in Persona or in Toradora or something like that. But it was a really unique uniform, like a private school, like a really prestigious school. You know, they had their cravats and they had their really even the uniform was very colorful. You know, the girls were wearing red and the boys were wearing blue. I like that in terms of character design. I also like the fact that every character pretty much has different color hairstyles. Like it's kind of weird, but at the same time it's really nice because then, unlike normal slice of life animes, you can tell which character is which. Do you see what I mean? Especially side characters and whatnot. Like a really perverted girl. Like
I don't know if this applies to Baka and Test, but when you have to draw the characters in a different hair color, is that you don't have enough variety in terms of the. And I read something, and again, I don't know if this is the case on Baka and Test, but there was one case in which you removed the hair of all the characters and all had the same design. So I don't know if that really applies.
There was it doesn't really apply to Baka and Test, I wouldn't think, because each character does really look unique. Like if you look at Himeji and you look at Himeji and any other female character, you just take off, like you shave them, they would look very different. Mainly because of eyes and facial features and whatnot. But I know what you're talking about. I've seen this in a game. I know what you mean, Tyson. So what do you guys kind of think about the character design? Like what's cool about it? What's not so cool about it?
I'd say that they look like kind of like normal like anime characters. Like at the same time, it's like I feel like they all have this like different personality, and like they also have, like there's only like unique thing that makes them them. So like, I'm kind of conflicted. So, like, overall, I'd say, like, they're, like, normal characters that kind of, like, strain away from the norm.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, you mean that they're pretty generic characters, but they each have this kind of one bit in them that is really unique, and it makes them who they are.
So, since this can be applied to character design, what is up with the rosy cheeks? Everyone has them.
That I don't know. But, everyone in real life has that. I know I do. If I shaved my face, I would be looking like one of these characters.
But you know how rosy cheeks are drawn when the character's blushing or something? I mean, here it's like they're blushing at every moment.
No, but that only applies to female characters.
No, male characters have them as well.
Akihisa doesn't.
Akihisa has them. Hoda has them. Yuji has them.
No, they don't. Look at their straight up anime. Their designs. Like they don't necessarily have it all the time. A lot of the female characters do. The only male character I can see that has that is Kubo and Hideyoshi. Do you know what I mean? They're not always blushing.
All the male characters have them as well.
They blush, but they don't blush all the time like the female characters. The female characters always have these rosy cheeks. I'm not sure why it is. I can probably understand for Pervert Ninja, because a lot of his blood is going to his face and going out of his nose. So I can understand why he has, rosy cheeks. Other characters, I don't necessarily understand why. But that's just particularly within this anime. That's how it is. I can't really give a scientific reason for that. And as you mentioned, Joe, it makes it more cute.
Well, I suppose you're right, because it's moe and all.
It's unbelievably moe. I'm not sure. Is this more moe than K-On?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think it could be. I honestly think it can. It's just there's so many more cute characters in this anime compared to K-On! Like, K-On! Only has, like, what, 6 characters? Anyway, I don't want to talk about K-On!
We already talked about K-On! You can guys listen to that episode.
Yeah, exactly. Shameless self-advertising. But yeah, before we get on to favourite characters and least favourite characters, voice acting, yay or nay?
Yay. I will say yay.
Word. It was a yay, definitely. It was like a yay and like a really cute.
One thing I kind of have a gripe about is the voice acting.
Really?
You know why that is? Yeah, because the character, and I'll tell you which character it is. I have problems with Himeji, with
Yoshiki. Like that high pitch annoyed me, but
yeah, it's worse. I wouldn't say it's worse than Rise, but it's really high pitched, and it's like she sounds so vulnerable. It's like having a cute puppy in your hands all the time. It's cute, but at the same time, it's like, what am I gonna do with this?
I know that it kind of reminds me of Onodera in Nisekoi season 2, like her shyness, in a way, made me hate her. But that's not really. But that's not really voice acting.
I know what you mean. Like, in terms of voice acting, she's so like reserved, and I understand that's supposed to be her character. But at the same time, it gets to a point where it's like, please kill me now.
Yes.
That's one thing I didn't like. But that was about her Japanese act. Minami, I love her voice in Japanese, but her voice in German is so fucking bad. Like, I've listened, because, you know, she is a German exchange student. It explains why she's not really good at kanji and Japanese language. Like, when you're listening, because obviously I speak to a lot of German people. I know quite a lot of German people. And when you listen to her German, it's like, you can tell the Japanese voice actress done the German. They didn't outsource it. Which was nice, the fact that they actually got a voice actor that can speak German. But at the same time, it was disappointing because it was like, God, it was really bad German. Do you know what I mean? It just sounded disappointing. It was kind of like in Free, you know how you had that really bad Australian accent, but on another level. It was just like really shit. And if you guys are German and you're listening to this, please go and check that episode or even check a YouTube video where she's talking German, and you can see how bad it is. That's just my opinion. I'm not sure if the English dub has as bad German as this dub. I hope not.
I didn't even watch it in English. Joe, did you?
Me neither. No, I didn't watch it in English, but I'm just hoping that they didn't fuck it up in English dub. I'm pretty much guessing that, you know, that they found someone who could speak German to do it. Yeah. Speaking of the English,
Funimation distributed in the States.
Funimation. Yeah, and they were responsible for the dub as well.
Funimation's like sometimes
yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. It's like hit and miss. Sometimes they do very good dubs, and sometimes they nah.
Like Dragon Ball Z and Haganai. That's how I like to think of it. But yeah, Funimation did a great job with the anime in terms of distribution, which I enjoyed. Especially that it's free to watch on YouTube, on their YouTube channel. Oh, yeah. Yes, it is like 480p, but it's free. It's like, you don't even need to watch an ad. That blew my mind. And it's like, oh my god. So I've never heard of any other distribution company making their content free on YouTube. But there you go. What did you guys think about voice acting? Because I know, Joe, you said it was really cool, but I never really heard from Tyson. So you didn't have any sort of gripe or anything like, oh man, it's kind of shit.
But like, I'm just used to like a lot of Japanese voices, so like something like this doesn't really bother me. Especially like cute females, like kind of like the vulnerable ones. Like I'm really used. I kind of expect how they'd sound, so I just deal with it.
I'm just gonna agree with Mizuki's voice being annoying, and I kind of slip in the opinion that she kind of reminds me of Onodera, how shy she is and how vulnerable it's like. I don't really have nothing more to add. Besides that, I thought that everything else was okay. Although personally, I would have casted Hideyoshi with a voice that that when you hear the voice, you don't know what to tell if it's a guy or a girl. I would have probably as director, I would have made that decision. But
he had that kind of voice.
But that's the thing in Japanese, that it was a female's voice for Hideyoshi.
It was a girl who did
and I think in English as well. They had the same voice actresses for Yuko and Hideyoshi.
Well, they're twins, so
yeah, that's another thing. Like, I see what you mean. Like, they could have done it like a lot more like how they did with Naruto.
Like Naruto, at least in Japanese, I don't know about in English, but in Japanese it's a woman who does the voice, but she actually did the voice of the guy, quote unquote, Naruto quite well as well. I mean,
But that's the same with the English voice actress as well. We don't know who it is because she likes to remain anonymous, but she did a pretty great job on that. And I honestly thought that Naruto was a guy at one point. But with Hideyoshi, you can kind of tell because they make it blatantly obvious.
Yeah, like I saw Persona 4, like I just saw like the regular game, like I saw like a playthrough of it, and for like a time I thought Naruto was a guy. Like they genuinely tricked me until they got like to realize that.
I suppose the element of surprise was kind of lost in me because I already watched Persona 4 the animation for this very podcast. So when I got to fight Shadow Naruto, it wasn't really much of a surprise. There's honestly, it's like very little can surprise me at this point. I don't know.
So yeah, moving on, we're going to be talking about, let's just get our least favorite characters out of the way. Like for me, I think my least favorite character, and I'm sorry for this, Joe. I'm crushing your dreams here. It's Himeji, and the reason I say that, and let's be civil here. The reason I say Himeji is my least favorite is because I don't like her personality. That's one thing, and I'm not a big fan of her character design either. Specifically in the anime, it's like, I don't know, she has really big boobs, and it's like that. I wouldn't say that's a turn off for me. It's just at the same time, it's as if she's.
It's like it's her only redeeming feature and the only thing that you can make a gag around her.
Yeah, and that's very shallow. At least what I think.
It's like she's a walking trope. I mean, she's a bad cook. She has big tits, and she's like shy as a what? I mean, she's a walking trope.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You guys, you both just lost the right to
no,
be my
that's not how it
senpais.
works.
No, that's not how it works.
Exactly. We kind of have forced ourselves as senpais on you. You can't. It's kind of like making a deal with the devil. That's how it is. Anyway, so that's one thing I don't like about Himeji. Another thing is pink hair. It kind of looks like she has like a massive octopus in her head, and it's like. Oh, okay, but that's. I bet you someone has done that, like a Rule 34 of that.
Oh God!
I don't really like her because of that. That's another thing, and she's too shy. And I'm like, stop being a fucking pushover. Well, you want him to get that love letter, then fucking give it to him. Don't be.
I know.
That was so a chain letter. Like that was annoying for me because first of all, Akihisa is a fucking dumbass. Like he should have at least realized that, but fair enough, he is the idiot in this anime. So
be honest, just because of that, I thought I was watching a herring anime because let me count the tropes. He has at least two.
It kind of was.
So let me count the tropes. One, he has at least two women characters interested in him. Second, the main character is dumb as fuck, and I mean, it sometimes felt like I was watching a herring, honestly. All right, so I want to go up next, and I already shared my opinion with Bish that I don't like Mitsuki. And I'm gonna add, and you probably may hate me for this as well, but I'm gonna say Mutsurini. Mutsurini, like the only redeeming feature he has is being a pervert. I mean, some of his gags are funny.
How is that redeeming? That's one thing. How is that redeeming? You don't go up to someone in the street and say, your redeeming feature is that you're a pervert. You don't go to a prison and say that either. I don't understand. How is that redeeming in your mind?
No, I'm probably using the wrong word. Like, my English sucks, okay? But, I mean, it's like the only thing he has going for him is that he's a pervert, and I can't really... I mean, if I hate girls with big boobs, but it's like equally I have to dislike guys that are all about exploiting that. So I mean, whenever he got a nosebleed, he did it in such a way that it nailed the joke home. I found myself laughing at his constant nosebleed, but in the end, I mean, you're still a pervert. You're still an endorser of what I hate.
And the thing is, no one really, how do you say? No one addresses that in this anime.
know.
That's one thing.
I know.
That's what is worrying me about this anime. It's like, no one is addressing this. As soon as Akihisa says something perverted, you know that Minami is gonna like headlock him or something.
Oh my god!
But this guy is trying to take pictures up your skirt, and you're doing nothing about it.
Exactly.
And I don't know what to say. And
all the back problems that Aki has right now.
David, hold on. I have one more.
Oh, you have another.
Yeah. I have three. I have three. I already said Mitsuki. I said Mitsurini, and the third, Akihisa's sister. Man, I have the amount of Akira. Yeah, the amount of times that woman made me uncomfortable are too high to count.
I know what you mean, because especially when she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna give you a kiss," I'm like, "Don't! This is not Oremo. Stop it right there."
I know. I am like. I mean, I hate that her huge tits are being used as a gag, but the fact that she wanted to kiss her brother is just on a new level of creep for me.
Yeah, and the thing is that she was really okay with, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna kiss you, and I'm never gonna be married," and I'm like, you
gotta look.
No, incest is not wincest.
Wow, Joe. Wow,
Joe. I want to see your opinion on Oremo. Now that I've said this, but no, but yeah, seriously, that kind of really made me uncomfortable, and it was just like, oh my god, who does this?
No,
and I don't know why the hell they even included this. This is probably in the light novel. If I was reading this, I would feel so uncomfortable that I would go get the light novel and shred it and burn it and throw it outside and then feed it to a whale. That's
overtly specific.
Yes, that's the thing. I felt really uncomfortable with her, and it was just like, why is she here? That was my opinion on her.
Well, she was important for like one episode. After that, she was
more
just
in
there.
season 2, and it gets really uncomfortable with her around, and it's like, oh, please stop. Yamete.
I'm actually considering removing Baka and Test season 2 from my queue, if that's gonna be the case.
I say give it a try, but anyway.
Joe, sorry for interrupting.
That's just my opinion.
You can go ahead with your least favorite character, or least favorite character.
I've already said my least favorite character.
No, Megan, I said Joe. I said Joe.
Oh, Joe hasn't said his.
Okay,
I thought he did. Oh, sorry, Joe.
No, I didn't. I said I kind of just have one. Like it's Toshimitsu.
Why is that? Why don't you like Kubo?
Oh, the gay character. Okay.
I just find him like annoying. Like he just appears like every time there's something happening. He's just like, oh, like I think.
Allow me to retort to that. I think that Miharu Shimizu. You know the one girl that is always falling into Minami's arms, saying,
Yes,
I love you.
I hate her.
I mean, if we're gonna compare annoyingness regarding to secondary characters, I think Miharu has more appearances than Kubo.
Well, I've watched Sakura Trick, so I'm kind of used to Yuri by now.
The thing is with Kubo, what I liked about him was he wasn't really as annoying as Miharu. Miharu was like, "Senpai, notice me. Senpai, fuck me." That's what it was.
Exactly.
I don't mean like I'm not saying he's my least favorite because I hate him. I'm saying he's my least favorite because he did have
Yeah, that's true. He was only just there as a pure side character.
That's
true. And that's another thing.
There's Yaoi and Yuri
this anime, but I'll talk about this later in the gripes and grumbles bit. But this was one of the gripes I had with this anime. It's just anyway. Should we move on to favorite characters and the best girl debate? Prepare.
Sure.
Hold on to something. Guys, hold on. It's going to be a bumpy ride. My favorite character, and I'm going to say this, my favorite character has changed. Since I watched this the first time, my favorite character used to be Hideyoshi. For obvious reasons. Hideyoshi was like one of my favorite characters because he was so fucking cute, and I was like, oh man, really awesome. And I never used to like his sister. Now I don't actually have the problem with his sister. I think his sister is a right bitch. Fucking annoying. And I look at the sister and I look at Hideyoshi and I'm like, Hideyoshi's a lot cuter than his sister, even if it's like a standard just in the same kind of uniform. For some reason I'm leaning towards Hideyoshi more than his sister. They look exactly the same, they have the same hairstyles, and I think in season 2 they play on that a lot. they switch places. I'm not going to say anymore.
Well, there was
that was something.
Well, Hideyoshi actually crossed for her sister to tease. I think it was Class B.
Yeah, that happened in season 1, and I think it happens in season 2 as well. So that's something that kind of gets played on more in season 2.
Ah, okay.
But I think now my favorite character has switched to who was one of my least favorite characters the first time I watched this, and she has so many redeeming qualities. I love tsunderes. And she is like really tsundere. Shoko is like yandere, obviously. Like that's how I feel Shoko is. She's very aggressive when, someone else looks at what's his name? Yuji. Or if Yuji is looking at someone, she's gonna poke his eyes out. That's too aggressive. But Minami's cool. I know she's really hard on Akihisa, how she's doing these wrestling moves and whatnot. But she's kind of cute as a character. And what really changed it for me was when she was making the bento for him, and I really felt sorry for her, and I was like, you know what, I'll eat your bento anytime, no puns intended. But she was she's a really cute character, and
oh my god,
it's not always about big boobs in anime, and they made fun of her as well for having a flat chest, and that happens a lot in real life.
Yeah,
a lot of women kind of get made fun of having big boobs or even small boobs. That happens a lot, and I'm not going to say I felt her pain because I can't feel her pain, but I felt sympathetic towards her, and I was like, oh man, she was bullied, I was bullied, I kind of feel that pain in that sense. And she's just a cute character, and I think, I don't want to say this, but she's the ultimate ship with Akihisa. That's my opinion. And I'll explain it when we get onto the ships. But Joe, who's your favorite character?
Bitch,
well, you've already probably said it.
I think it's needless to say, Kota Tsuchiya, also known as the ninja pervert. He's just really funny. Like he was like one of the most hilarious things of the show. Because like every time like something happened, like he'd just be there to take the picture. And it's like all his nosebleeds, like they were just he leaked out in like the most unexpected ways. So
a thing about Ninja Pervert was the fact that he's selling like pictures of people on the black market, kind of, and we had people. Yeah, he did. That was so weird. And the thing is, even for me, like this actually happened in my school. People would do that. It was kind of awkward, and I don't know why. It was really popular back in the day because no one had smartphones, and people would just buy pictures of other people. It was kind of creepy, and I think this still happens in Japanese schools today, especially in festivals. They're like, "Oh yeah, you want to buy this picture with you and your senpai? There you go." And this was really creepy for me because it's like he's a pervert, but he's encouraging it to everyone else he sees. And yeah, I know they're mostly pictures of Hideyoshi. They're the ones that are the best selling. But it's still kind of creepy because if you think about it in real life, it's like this guy, if he grows older, where the hell is he going to be in like 10 years time? I think in jail.
I'm going to be completely honest. Hideyoshi was
he is attractive. I have to admit he's more attractive than his sister, which is kind of weird even though they look exactly the same.
My favorite gender will always be Hideyoshi.
On the forms, like if you're writing a form for a passport and they ask what your gender is, and they're like, oh, male, female, other. They should just instead of other, they should just have Hideyoshi. That's my opinion, or they should have that as a separate thing.
Yeah, the scene was hilarious. The bat scene was hilarious, like with the Hideyoshi.
Yeah, the Hideyoshi bathroom, and that was funny because he was alone. But I'm trying to think. They said all the bathrooms are connected, which was true, but the thing is, the entrance, it was like male, Hideyoshi, and then female. But you didn't see that because when they were in the baths, there was only one wall where, the men they were trying to jump over to the female side. But Hideyoshi should be in the middle.
Yeah, like they were just fighting. Yeah, they were all fighting, and then Hideyoshi is just like living.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's not the issue. The issue I have was that the bath they were in, they had one wall. Where the hell was Hideyoshi going?
I think he was like a private. I don't think they were.
They said it. They said they're connected. And then they said it in the anime. That's why they tried to jump over to the female side. But if you look at how the doors were arranged, it was male, Hideyoshi, and then female. and it was kind of weird. And so you would think that Hideyoshi's bath would be in the middle, but it's nowhere to be seen.
Well, maybe it was like underground. Maybe it's kind of like a
Maybe.
B1 kind of thing.
That would be kind of weird though if it was underground.
Like it was kind of like a private bathroom though. Like you clearly saw that. Like it was all like luxurious and like you know what I'm saying?
So what was I gonna say? Tyson.
Yes.
Who's your favorite character?
I think I'm gonna just get out of this conversation and just leave you to speak for me, because I find myself agreeing with a lot of your opinions in this episode. So yes, I like Minami as a character, although I will differ from you in the fact that you didn't like her making so many wrestling moves on Akihisa. I actually loved that. And I remember writing on my notes that an aggressive tsundere that doesn't piss me off, and here I'm speaking about Shitoge. Like, Minami didn't piss me off.
Tyson, don't you do this! Don't you do this to me, Tyson. Don't.
No, I will do this again. I will
leave
do
that
this
for
to
the
you.
Nisei Koi episode.
Aggressive tsunderes are just not my thing. And when I saw Minami, I was like mind blown at the fact that she's an aggressive tsundere that doesn't pisses me off. I mean, what is this? Is the world gonna end or something? And also,
maybe.
And also, yes, I think she's the perfect ship for Akihisa as well.
That's good, because that links into the ships. I have a lot of ships written down here. Main ship, Akihisa, and I forgot her name now, Minami, and then my secondary ships, which aren't, they're riding along the massive steamboat there. Yeah, that's a train, Tyson. But all right, I don't know how you're gonna think about this. Is that I think Kubo and Hideyoshi would be a great ship. And listen to me.
Oh gosh.
I'm not saying this because Kubo is the gay character. I'm saying this because they would look really fucking cute. That's another and I think another ship that the anime kind of forces upon us is Pervert Ninja and Aiko, the girl with the green hair.
Oh yeah.
They're alright. I don't know. A lot of other characters you really can't ship. Like Shoko and Yuji, I don't think is a big ship for me. Like the anime forces it upon me. And I'm kind of agreeing with Yuji at a point, because it's like he's trying to be all cool. You know what I mean? He's not really interested in Shoko in any sort of way. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's a ship that I'm not against. But what do you guys think in terms of ships? Tyson, I think you've already mentioned it, but do you have any other ships? Interested to hear your ships.
Ships. Should I stay something that would probably go together, or something that was blatantly
something
obvious?
That you want to happen in terms of ships. Like, which two characters would you want to see in a relationship, or just plain fun kick?
Yuji and Shoko.
Explain yourself, because obviously I didn't like it because the anime kind of forces that upon me, and you can tell that Yuji's really not into it, but Shoko's like, yeah. But why do you think that ship is? Yeah,
that's exactly right, because it's like the fact that they keep fighting with each other is like one reason why they just fit together, because it's like she really you can see like Shoko clearly loves him, and like to some extent like Yuji's alright with her.
To me it feels like it's really childish, because she had this kind of relationship with him before high school, since middle school or whatever. But then it kind of reminds me of Hazuki when she goes up to Akihisa and she's like, oh idiot big brother, I'm gonna marry you one day. It kind of reminds me of that. It's this kind of childhood dream.
Well, like it's just like Shoko and Yuji are kind of like that one of those unique duos in this show. Yeah, it's like they spend like all the time together, and like better or worse.
So that was our ship and best girl debate.
It wasn't as heated as other occasions, but fear not, dear audience, you will hear the heated ships soon.
Yeah. They will come soon. They'll come soon with the Nisei Koi and also with Haganai. That's that.
And viewers, always remember, we don't bring the ships here. The ships bring themselves.
Oh god. Oh man.
That's crazy. So before we end, I just want to talk about other things in terms of the music. So for me, the anime's music was pretty generic, except for fight scenes. When you had that that was my jam. Like, there was a point in my life where I would just listen to that when I was brushing my teeth, and I was like, yeah. Or if I was doing homework, I was like, dun, 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 dun. I was like, fuck yeah. That kind of motivated me to do stuff. The intro music, I love it. The outro, not so much. I don't understand why this anime needs
Baka, go home.
Good job.
There's 2 of them, Tyson, but I'm not sure why. It's only a 12-episode anime, well, 13-episode anime. I don't understand why it needs 2 outro sequences and 2 intro sequences. That's my opinion, but I prefer the intro.
It didn't have 2 intro sequences. It had 2 endings, but
I don't understand why. That's the thing.
To be fair, Nisekoi did much
the
worse.
thing with Nisekoi is that the endings are character songs. It's one way to market the songs, but I don't know. You may agree, you may not disagree. I don't know.
So, what did you guys think about the music? Because I know, Tyson, you normally have a lot to say regarding that.
Can I talk about the music? Sorry. Like the main soundtrack, like I'll admit that like even as much as I enjoyed it, like it was like something I've heard before. But like the intro music, let's just say that after listening to it, I downloaded it and started listening to it over and over again.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I was like streaming it like from YouTube when I was on the train, and I was like, this is hype. This is honestly hyped. The music within the anime is pretty generic except for the battle themes.
And like the first one I didn't like that much, but the second one like I really liked. Like it was like catchy.
It's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same with me. Although, again, Bish and I share most of the same opinions in this show, and
that's because we're the same human being, Tyson.
Two minds are better than one. But the intro and the outro music, unlike Bish, I actually kind of like the outro. Like, it was kind of upbeat, and if I felt like it fit with the whole theme, the ambient of the show itself, and the intro music was catchy enough. I mean, it annoyed me at first, but the tune just made it bearable, I suppose. As for the rest of the soundtrack, is generic. So and even the battle music, I would go as far as saying that it was generic. I didn't like it. It's not like I hated it, but I neither like it as well. It's like, it's there.
Yeah. Now I think we should talk about gripes and grumbles. I have a few with this anime. I love it, but there's certain things that the anime doesn't really touch upon, and there's a lot of kind of, I wouldn't say offensive stuff, but it's stuff that you think and you're like, I'll rather stay away from that. One of the things is how they kind of treat, the perverts, pervert ninja. They don't acknowledge, no character acknowledges pervert ninja and the fact that he's being perverted, or the fact that he's trying to look up someone's skirt. That's one thing. A second,
I think it's because he's probably like well known in that way, because it's like he's known for like just getting screenshots, like snapshots and everything. You saw like Minami, like she was into this, like she bought pictures.
But that's the
of,
thing.
Like, all the photos.
The anime in itself is self-aware. It's breaking the fourth wall, and I don't understand why it doesn't really do something to combat that. Because this is a really serious thing in real life. This stuff happened.
I thought the narrator does some fourth wall breaking of his own. I don't remember if he did it with Musurini, but and I forgot to mention this in characters. Does anyone else think that the narrator is so boss regards to this show?
Yes. I love the narrator. He's better as a narrator than he is as a teacher.
I know.
He's so chilled, and when
No, you want to know like the really good thing about something interesting about the narration? It started out with what's his name? Yeah, Iron Man, and then they switched it up later on, and it's just like the.
That's what I love. He actually has a purpose in this anime. It's not like, oh, I'm your teacher today. And his voice, it kind of in English, kind of reminds me of a physics teacher of mine, who for this purpose, I'm going to call him Mr. Quasar, because, that's a physics reference. But he sounds really, really boring. Hello, this is me. And it kind of reminded me of that. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of cool. It's like you're having this really boring teacher narrating, and he just makes the most funniest jokes as well. Like, even though he's really monotone as a teacher, He just
I don't
makes,
think
this
I don't
guy
think-
is funny.
I don't think that is more about the teacher being boring and more of the narrator being in a overtly sarcastic tone all the time. Like he's
Yeah,
just
that's another-
he's just expecting the Akihisa or someone else in the group to say any idiot thing so he can say, "Oh my," to retort back with one of his dry, witty retorts that is like, "My God, this man is so boss." But I'm sorry to have steered the conversation away from gripes and grumbles. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Another thing.
I actually have a great show. Like it didn't sound like it, but I actually do have this one big problem with the show. It's like, you know, like how the plot was like they had the fight, like they were class out, they were like the lowest of like the lowest, and then it's like they had to like rise up by like doing all these wars. I don't like how they like basically made it so you can only do one war, and like if you lose, then like wait.
No,
3
but
months
that
for
I don't
another
think
one.
that's a gripe or anything wrong with that, because then you're gonna have it so that everyone's gonna be in war all the time and no one is gonna fucking study.
Just let me finish. Right, it's like no, and then like after that they did like a ton of episodes like that happened between that 3 month gap. It kind of like steered away from the plot. Like I enjoyed like what they did, but like it steered away from like the main purpose
No,
of the
but
show.
that's the thing.
Like,
the
as
main
if,
purpose
like,
of the show is the fact that it is a slice of life. So cutting that all out or kind of condensing that really doesn't help with like character development or anything like that, because this isn't an action show. This isn't Attack on Titan or anything like that.
No, they could focus on the plot and have all these moments. Like they don't have to like just completely remove it and then like continue it like at another time. Like it just doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I find
I
it difficult
disagree
to agree with
because
that.
I find it's like you need these things there, and you need it in that format. This anime also, fun fact, it has an OVA that kind of links between the first season and the second season, and if you don't watch the OVA in between, you won't actually understand a lot of what's going on in the second season. But yeah, this anime needs that kind of bit. You can't just ignore it. You can't just say, oh yeah, let's condense it or let's put it in, because it's going to get really repetitive if you have action scenes all the time, and if you're fighting and if you're having class fights. And it pretty much takes away from the need of a season 2, because you could pretty much fit season 1 and season 2 into one season with all the...
And that's where 13 episodes length like kind of hurts it. Like if it were longer, then they could have like added everything.
Yeah, but
like,
that's why they have a season 2.
Like,
because, as I said, if they put it as one 24-episode anime, then you wouldn't need a season 2. And sometimes you need that. You know, especially if you're trying to test the waters with an anime. You're just trying to test, will people like this? Will people not like this? Especially with it being very unique. So I think that's why they did that in that way.
It seems to be the case that usually with moe art style, slice of life usually follows very closely behind. So, I mean, if you're looking for a show in which to make what is it? If you're looking to make the show like a purely action-based show, I don't think Baka and Test is the right choice. I mean, there would be other animes that would be that we could say, okay, you can remove all of this and it would make a perfect X genre anime, but I don't think that would work for Baka and Test because it's part of the charm of the show as well.
Well, I guess it's just that like I kind of wanted to like see them like destroy all these classes and like move into these new classes.
But that's the thing; they don't even move into new
like,
classes either.
Yeah, but then don't get me like. Other than that, like, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy like all those side moments. Like, they were very like interesting. I love them very much. Like, I watched them all like at once. Like, that's just how addicting they were. Like, how enjoyable they were. So it's not something like it's not that I hate the new things. Just I just wish they kind of like had like the more action like with the wars and stuff.
Another gripe I have with this anime is the fact that they're really harsh on certain groups of people. You see what I mean? It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like they kind of make jokes on certain groups of people. I think it's unfair. Like, especially with Kubo and I forgot the lesbian character. They use them. They only use them as the fact that they're gay. As a joke. And I'm like, yeah, that's like, these characters have no other character development other than the fact that they're gay. And I think that's just dumb. It's like, yeah, these are gay characters, but you shouldn't really necessarily use that as something to create jokes from. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And this anime does this a lot with other things as well. Like, even the another gripe, and I just popped into my mind now. It kind of ruined my train of thought. But you know the guys wearing the hoods in Class F?
Yes.
They're known as the FFF.
Oh,
Triple F. I'm kind of uncomfortable on how they were designed.
Because they look like the KKK, but instead of a white.
They do. I felt really.
yeah, that's true. You gotta admit, despite what they were
hilarious.
really
And they're funnier in season 2, but it's their character design really kind of. I felt really uncomfortable with their character design. Let's just say that, and the fact that they crucified Yoshi and they set him on fire, and that was just like these guys are already dressed in such a way. And they're resorting to violence, and then it makes me feel even more uncomfortable. It's like they didn't need to do that. Do you see what I mean? Like, yes, I understand they're supposed to be a cult and whatever, but you could have designed them in another way.
I think the Japanese aren't aware.
Yeah, I just saw them as reapers. Like, I just saw them as kind of like reapers. I didn't really think
Yeah, but then
of,
they're
the
even
KKK.
named as the FFF.
Yeah, I guess it was supposed to not to that, but I didn't really notice it, to be honest. I wasn't really thinking about
Or
that,
perhaps
happening.
there's no notion in Japan about the KKK being a racist group or something similar in their culture.
I doubt that, because they made a lot
Well,
of references, and that's really what made me uncomfortable. It's just like, they should have known. But there's going to be people that are going to watch this, and they're going to find it uncomfortable. I think that was beyond the line at that point.
Well, there's also 10. I don't know what happened in 2010. I don't know. Maybe times were different 5 years ago.
Maybe, but I think it was unacceptable for that anime. But yeah, despite all of the gripes and grumbles and all the things that were bad and all the things that were good, do you think that you want to see a season 2? Does this make you say, oh yeah, I'm going to go right now and go watch a season 2? Because I've watched a season 2. Obviously, this anime made me want to watch a season 2. I watched it straight away because it was so amazing. But do you guys think that you want to watch a season 2?
I kind of do want to watch season 2 right away, because I really enjoyed the show, and I really want to watch it. I want to watch more, because when it ended like that, I don't want it to end.
That's the thing.
That's a good thing, actually.
Before you watch season 2, you have to watch the OVA, or else you're not going to understand what actually goes on in season 2. And another thing is, I don't want to say this now, I don't think we will have a season 2. At least I'm not going to be suggesting it on Kunai, mainly because the season 2 very disappointing ending. Because it leads on to season 3. Yet it's 2015. There is no season 3.
When did season
possibly
release?
2010 or 2011 or something.
What this show or season 2?
So
It was pretty recent, or maybe it was 2012 at maximum.
2011.
because
2011, and the
2011,
manga's
yeah.
already finished. Light novel's already finished. That finished. Actually, it finished last month, June 26th.
Yeah, recently too.
So very recently. So they can't pull on the thing and say, "Hey, we don't have enough content for a season 3." They could easily make this a season 3, and I really want to know what happens. And I want to know, do they win? Because season 2 is very disappointing. It's not the thing that I want to see. But that's all I'm gonna say. Tyson, why do you want to see a season 2?
Actually, before that, I do have one gripe that you can take this as you will, but Hideyoshi made me confused, very, very confused. Although I suppose that's why traps are designed to do. But when it came to deciding my best character and my best girl, I mean, whoa. How do I place Hideyoshi in this without sounding weird? It made me more.
Even the anime kind of talks about this. Hideyoshi's neither male or female. Hideyoshi's just Hideyoshi. So best Hideyoshi.
Best Hideyoshi. I suppose I could have said.
That's the only way you can describe it.
I suppose I could say that. So best Hideyoshi's best Hideyoshi.
Because Hideyoshi's been given his own gender group. So I think even the anime understands that people are going to be confused. So that's why I think they done the whole Hideyoshi joke. Yeah. So
season 2. Why I want to see a season 2? I'm gonna go ahead with and agree with Joe here, because I felt like I didn't want it to stop. I was actually hype at that end. I was actually hype.
yeah, it's normally it's hard for me to like binge a show, or like because like it's usually like I need to take a break from like everything that's happening. But like this show, like I couldn't stop watching. Like I enjoyed it from beginning to end.
And that's another thing. Would you guys recommend it to others? Because this is an anime that I love to recommend to people. I'm like, yeah, you have to watch Baka and Test. I think it's an anime that is kind of eases you into anime. Like it's not like something I wouldn't recommend Attack on Titan to someone, especially someone that's new to anime. But this is something I can recommend to someone, and like a gateway to anime. That's what I think this is.
Yeah,
Same here.
I can do that.
Same
I
here.
would do that.
There's not really much I can add here.
So, what is the next episode?
Am I supposed to announce the summer special or Nisekoi?
Nisekoi. Because I think the summer special is just going to be like, BAM! Summer special.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, just a surprise then. So, next episode on Get a Life Podcast Kunai. It is time, my people. It is time to begin the holy waifu wars. It is time, my people. So, sit up on your trenches, prepare your guns, and fire at will, because we're having this waifu war, and it will begin with Nisekoi Season 1. So be ready for that. Pick up all your best girl figurines and everything, and join us next month for Get a Life Podcast Kunai as Get a Life Podcast Kunai does Nisekoi.
The thing is, I can, as soon as you said that, line up all your figurines, I could just imagine just me around a bunch of Chitoge like plushies and stuff. I think that's amazing. But anyway, yeah, so Nisekoi, that should be interesting. What else? So yeah, remember guys, if you like this episode, tell us on Twitter. If you didn't like this episode, tell us on Twitter at our new Twitter page, which is at GLAP Kunai. Once again, that is GLAP Kunai. Another thing is you can also talk to us on our personal Twitters. I'll let you guys say your Twitters.
Mine is Kibo Gamer. KIBOU Gamer.
At Kanai _ on Twitter. That's KANAYE _.
And mine is at the Tempest Phoenix. Only because Kevin's not here. And remember, just if you want to do it in all capitals, do that. If you want to do it in not all capitals, do that. I'm fine with it. Unlike Kevin.
You want to spam it with tons of love and hate, and yeah.
Also, my Twitter is actually at Get a Life Podcast, so you guys know.
If you hate this episode or you have something bad to say about this episode, send it to the at Tempest Phoenix. Don't send it to Galkunai. Send it to the at Tempest Phoenix.
Yes.
Send your hate to Kevin.
Because I'm sure Kevin would love to hear.
I want to see how Kevin will actually agree with that. He'll be like, I wasn't even a part of this. And I bet you his reaction will be, well, if you hate this episode, it's probably because I wasn't on it. I think Kevin would say something like that.
I suppose.
But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed it. Remember, tell us your suggestions, because we've got like 2 suggestions so far, like, oh my god, which is actually quite good. If you guys want to suggest more, remember, you can talk to us on Twitter. If you don't have Twitter and you're really old school, you want to send us an email, you can. Just send it to P, which is glap.p, as in PEA, at gmail.com, and she will pass on the suggestion to me. And yeah, see you guys.
See ya.
Do I say it?
Joe, you need to say it.
Stay sexy.
You're saying it as if you're crying, as if we have like a gun to your head. Say it, Joe.
No, say it more naturally. Say it more naturally.
No, I like that.
Stay sexy.
Yeah, I saw that.
What are you talking about? What are you lovely ladies talking about?
We're talking about Nature Valley and Snickers.
Oh, what happened was it kind of went into like robot mode. I thought you can say, oh, we're talking about men and Snickers, and I was like, okay, cool. Snickers and men, that kind of sounds kinky. I don't know, whatever you guys want to do.
Dude, I understand you like Naruto, but dude, I have opinions.
No, it's because Naruto is best girl.
Tyson, you admitted GA was best girl, although I am taking a liking toward Naruto.
No, bish, that never happened.
It did. It was on the Christmas episode, Tyson. You acknowledged it.
No, Tyson. And I said that never happened.
How do you not like the meat waifu?
That sounds wrong when you say it, Joe.
It's wrong when you mention that it's wrong.
Because the thing is does GA mean meat as in steak? Or does she mean another type of meat?
Your mind
either one's all right.
Mind is in the gutter.
My mind is not even in the gutter anymore. It's in the sewers at this moment in time.
Wow, what a nonchalant admission.
I'm not even gonna lie about it. I was, like, not hair clipping. What do they call them? Shears. You know, the things that you clip your bushes with. Oh, that sounds so wrong. But garden shears, basically.
Yeah.
They were really rusty, and I took it apart, and it looked really sick as like a weapon. I was like, yeah. But I didn't use it as a weapon. I just used it as garden shears. So I was sharpening them, and I was de-rusting them. And bear in mind, I live in front of 2 schools. So people are looking at me sharpening what looks to be massive machetes, because these are massive shears, and I had to take them apart. And, people were going away from me, and I was like, yeah, this is my life.
Oh, so Joe is the one that introduces the show.
No, I'm the one that's introducing the show because this is my suggestion.
I am kind of nervous.
Why?
Because I don't know. Because I don't know how you're gonna introduce this. If we're gonna keep some sort of continuity.
What do you mean? I'm not gonna say welcome to summer because you've already said that for free. I'll do that again if you want. I'm like, welcome to summer.
I may say welcome to fall just to spite you when it's fall.
Kevin, I miss him so much. Oh my god, I miss him.
Aww.
And then he fucked me over. He was like, I was like, so how's life without your senpai? And he was like, it's pretty much the same. Fuck you. Fuck you, man. I felt I was like, oh man, I thought he was like, oh man, I miss you, bitch. And I was like, yes. And then, no, it's pretty much the same. Like, Kevin, I hope you were joking, because if you weren't, to quote Donald Trump, you're fired. Nani desu ka? Moshi moshi. Moshi moshi. Moshi moshi. Hello? Guys? Tyson?